Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is well underway now, after having Episode 2 and 3 being released together this past Tuesday. So here is my review for both episodes. Just like last week, I posted asking for my followers' thoughts on the episode, so after my review, we will go through them. Episode 2 was a great episode. I'm surprised we found out BB was under the Fisk mask, which makes my theory wrong. The ending was great. The anti-vigilant task force member who was captured by Karen was in the finale of the last season, which was a nice touch. Episode 3 might have been my favorite episode of the season so far. The action scenes were amazing. It does feel like Karen is turning slightly darker considering her actions. Can tell that Fisk knew what he was doing by getting the North Star blown up, because he's 100% pinning it on DD. That action sequence might be my favorite in recent times. Those are my reviews for the episodes. My reviews will be shorter, so I can go through the reviews and discuss them. We have Wade Parker starting us off saying episodes were great. And these two episodes further prove that the AVTF is literally ice. Also Bullseye, while he had a minor role, was still awesome to see. Action is good as always. But there's a very high chance that Therapist is going to become Muse. I agree that the task force is the MCU equivalent to ICE. I completely agree with the action sequences being awesome. And with the fact that Heather will become Muse, considering she still has the Muse mask. Blazer's top guy says, 2 was great and 3 was one of the best in a long time. I agree. This season has the potential to be the best season of Daredevil we have seen thus far. Hottie is next up. This is getting better. This EP is more focused on tension, character dynamics, and setting things up. Let's start with something that blew my mind. Fisk has a child? WTF. They mentioned a legal heir, and he's out there. Interesting. Also, BB being behind that Fisk mask was pretty obvious, but yeah. Let's talk about one thing I hated in the previous episode but loved here. The lighting. Just beautiful. That church scene with Bullseye and the blue tone looked amazing. I love how the overall tone is divided. Red, black, and yellow for Matt Murdock. White for Wilson Fisk. His scenes feel clean, and controlled blue for Benjamin Poindexter, which suits him perfectly. That dream sequence of Vanessa was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. And Poindexter? OMG, such a badass. This episode's writing is amazing. I love how Fisk is playing two games here. He's a mastermind. The fact that he refused to reveal Matt's secret and instead wants to defeat him fairly makes it even more dangerous. That's a real villain. The ending sequence with the parallel of both couples was really good. When the screen minimized as Matt heard those frequencies like he was tuning down his senses, that was such a cool visual choice. The last fight was amazing too, and damn Karen, I wasn't familiar with your game. This episode also calls back to previous seasons, and we're seeing the impact now, like the White Tiger family. We might see his daughter's arc. There were a lot of great points made there. The shot of Bullseye in the church was great, and Fisk not revealing Matt's identity as Daredevil is a nice touch as well. Let's see what is said about Episode 3. OMG, this was so peak. This is the best episode of the Daredevil Born Again so far. I didn't even feel the length it ended so quickly. The pacing is fabulous. This EP had it all. The courtroom sequence was so good, even with a short runtime. You can clearly see the judge being under Fisk's coercion. That whole sequence was amazing. The best part of this EP was the prison break fight. OMG, that was absolutely peak. I did not expect the Daredevil and Swordsman duo, but it was so good watching them fight together. That small detail when he frees Swordsman, then listens to him talking, and starts communicating. I love those little touches and details. The green lighting in that fight was meticulous. Also, Lil White Tiger teaming up. I love where they're going with her arc. Matt being concerned about Karen shooting a cop, saying she's turning into a Punisher type. She's definitely going down a darker path. They might actually clash later. And that last moment blowing up the boat? Unexpected. He's definitely gonna pin that on Daredevil. Overall, best episode so far. There's so much going on, and I'm loving it. Daredevil is back. Great points made again. I do think Karen will go down a darker path this season in the absence of Frank. I do think she somewhat takes on the mantle of the Punisher during this season. We have Carl up next that says with each episode we can see that this season is different than the first, and it's better. More attention was paid to supporting characters. Suddenly other characters seem interesting, e.g., Buck, Heather, Kirsten. S2E3 is one of the best Marvel episodes in a while in my opinion. I agree with those points, especially with the characters getting more of a focus. because this will give us a better chance of caring about those secondary characters before something major happens involving them. Taking Heather as an example here, I think she will be in for a massive second half of the season, potentially killing someone else, taking the Muse mask and wearing it, and potentially dying all in a few episodes. Marcus is up next, who just says fucking awesome. I agree. Kira says the ending sequence fight of episode 3 was genuinely one of the best fight scenes I've seen. Also very excited for the Daredevil and Swordsman team-up. That fight scene at the end of episode 3 is my favorite scene so far of this season. Daredevil and Swordsman duo was great to see, even though it was short. I do hope we get to see more of them this season. Maria says it was awesome, and Dex appearing made it even better. The fight scene in episode 3 is such a good watch. I am also glad to see Dex, even though he didn't really do much in episode 2, and I believe he didn't appear in episode 3. I do hope we can get to see more of him in the next episodes. Jinx is like Maria, who is happy that Dex is there, which I also agree it's great to see him there. Indigo Unicorn Lover says some dialogue was a bit on the nose, and I feel like they didn't keep the steam up on some of the plot points they introduced, but otherwise I'm very intrigued. I do agree. It was disappointing to not have Matthew Lillard's Mr. Charles character involved in these 2 episodes. I was looking forward to seeing him. And in terms of the dialogue, I do understand their point. We have Nick, who is our last review. Before we get into it, he thinks Matthew Lillard's Mr. Charles was missed like myself. I completely agree with that. Although this didn't have a crazy amount going on, it was pretty enjoyable. I'm starting to really like Daniel as a character. His interrogation with BB was nice to see. Of course it was her leaking the shit. Now I'm actually worried about her. She might actually get hurt. I also like these back and forth parallel scenes. In this scenario, it was Fisk and Sheila. Deadass thought Sheila was bout to die. Love the direction too, like he just appears. It's weird to see the parallels of real life in the convenience store scene. Obviously in real life, it's slightly less excessive, but I thought it was interesting seeing how the streets are handling the current situation in New York. Also, Kingpin putting the missing persons report on Matt is such a great chess move. Still not sure how I feel about Vigilante Bullseye, and what's the point of killing the guards really? I guess he wants Vanessa to know he's after her. I really love the blue cinematography. Hated the handheld camera, and hope they stay away from that from here on out. It's less foggy in these episodes too, which is cool. Finally, the last fight is so good. IFR yelled when Matt smiles with gun in hand, and then beats the shit out the cops. This is Daredevil. Going back to a previous point about focusing on secondary characters, as we can see in this review, Daniel, BB, and Sheila are cared about. To me, this is because they are given the time to flesh their characters out, and it allows us to care more about them. The end of Nick's episode 2 review and beginning of episode 3 review was combined. Here's their review for episode 3, and speaking of which, what can I say other than holy peak? Real writing is back. For a split second, I actually thought they might free the swordsman. Shame on me, FR, but still what a scene. Swordsman's commentary on the trial is great. Also, the judge actress's emotions was really good. You could tell she's in Fisk's pocket now. Such good direction. Interrogation with the anti-vigilant task force guy was a little lackluster IMO. It makes sense, but I wish the guy gave a better or more in-depth reason for wanting to help. That's a bit nitpicky. Anyways, really interesting what they're doing with Heather. I think she might actually mentally break at some point in the season, and Matt's gonna have to stop her. Looks like she's intrigued with Muse a little too much. The comment about being able to understand vigilantes too well is a little too foreshadowy. Love the scene with her and Buck as well. He's actually starting to have character, and I really enjoy that. I think the situation between Matt and Karen and killing is very intriguing. We all know she killed Wesley, and we know she respects Frank, so this isn't all the way surprising, but it was still just shocking to see the conversation actually happen. I love it. I hope it leads to a real conflict soon, and it feels like it will, because Karen shot a cop who was already down. Not sure why she did that. Anyways, the finale of the episode is so fucking good. Seeing Swordsman and Matt fight together is awesome, especially cause this is way more than what they showed him doing in Hawkeye. The one-take shot itself is such a return to form and so fucking great. Really brought a smile to my face. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe this went a little too well for Matt, and then boom. I fucking knew when they told the workers to stay on the ship this was coming, and holy shit. So good. Can't wait to see where this goes. That is the review. My thoughts are that I do think we will see a divide between Matt and Karen, especially since we've seen that Karen has that edge to her in the past, and when killing the cop. I believe that we will see Fisk pin the ship being destroyed on vigilantes, which I do feel like is the obvious route they will go, but maybe I'm wrong. Going back to episode 1, linking to Heather becoming Muse. This scene where she is talking to Swordsman and sees Muse, I believe is foreshadowing her killing him. I don't know how we get there, but I think that's where we're heading. And that is all the comments done. If you would like to be included in the next, I will ask for your thoughts after watching episode 4 on Tuesday, and all you have to do to be included is drop your thoughts on the episode. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or night and stay safe. Much love to you all.